back. So here we are going to go through on our code doing stock market event study, right? In your project, you may want to follow some event-driven hedge funds, right? For example, merger arbitrage or risk arbitrage, they say. The key issue over there is whenever certain event happens like that, then can you make money before versus after those event announcement? Okay, this is a bit different from what we did for those cross-sectional approach about using Fama French 3-factor, 4-factor models and testing whether the alpha is positive or not. There, we were not specifically interested in certain events, certain common events, but event-driven hedge funds, they focus on certain kind of event, okay? Certain kind of event, mergers and acquisitions, CEO being kicked out, or bankruptcy, maybe not, some other events like stock splits, or what else? The spin-off of your companies, LG Chemical kind of companies, right? Does that affect your stock prices in a systematic manner so that you can predict the pattern and then make money out of it? Okay, that's the idea over here. It's more like time series analysis as opposed to cross-sectional analysis, all right? Event study, how do we do that? In R, all the answers to your questions in your life, almost all of them, you can Google search it. So I did it because I'm new to R. I'm more of a SAS guy, I told you. But here I found one interesting and useful help coming from two Indian scholars, Shah and Jain, 2020, very recent one. And then I basically, copied and pasted all their directions over here. I'm going to read off all those things, and then we're going to implement those codes accordingly. What you have to do later on is just use this package, and then upload your event data, those events that you are interested in. Okay. Here, the event that we're going to study is. That you're going to use is a stock split event. Well, the same stock, right? Splitting into 10 different stocks versus not. Does that affect the whole market value of your company? The answer is no. The same question is, here is a pizza, and you cut this into 2 pieces before. Right now, we're going to cut it into 4 pieces. Different ways of cutting pizza. Does that affect the total quantity of your flour in that pizza? The quantity of pizza should not change, right? It should stay the same. So, what should be the stock price response to this kind of stock split announcement? 0. Okay? So the event study results that you can see here will be very dull. I know. No interesting price movement. You will see it. But that's what it's supposed to be. Okay, we are checking our intuition with it. Okay, so for that part, what kind of event study shall we do it? First, it is going to be based on the raw returns. Raw, 생선회 kind of, it's like unadjusted, okay, raw day-by-day returns. And the other is market model. Using market index return as the key driver, and then you estimate those beta, and then now you are able to estimate the expected returns. As long as you have that beta estimate and the event days market return, now you are ready to compute the difference between the expected return and the realized return. That's epsilon. The question is, the average of epsilon value, is that significantly different from 0 or not? Okay, we're going to test that one. Now let's go. To conduct an event study, you must have a list of firms with associated dates, and you must have return data for these firms. In order to use the package, you have to place your data into 2 objects using certain conventions for the dates and certain conventions for the return data. The dates must be stored in a simple data frame. To illustrate this, we use the object split dates in the package, which is used for doing examples. Okay, install this package and library, bring it out, and data, yeah, split dates. We're going to use that, and head of this data is shown over here. Okay, what you see is a whole bunch of stock tickers, 종목 코드, and then the date of announcement. Okay, as I said before, make sure this announcement date is a trading day. Okay, what if the first announcement date happened to be either weekends or trading holidays? Well, the following first trading day. Okay, because the trading day right before, the market did not have that announcement yet, so you're going for the next fastest next best announcement date. Okay, next earliest, right? Okay, the trading date. The representation of date is a data frame with two columns. The first column is the name of the unit of the observations which is experienced in the event, which experienced the event. The second column is the event date. The second thing that is required for doing an event study is data for stock price returns for all firms. The sample data set supplied in the package is stock price returns. So in your project, you will have to have return data of all the stocks that you are interested in. Basically, some Korean stocks and then US stocks. I'm going to distribute those data to you. The stock price returns object is thus a Zeus object, which is a time series of daily returns. These are measured in percent, where +4 means +4 percentage point. The Zoo object has many columns of return data, one for each unit of observations, which in this case is a firm. The column name for the Zoo object must match the firm name. Okay, the name of the unit of observations in the list of event. The package gracefully handles the three kinds of problems encountered with real-world data. A, the firm where return is observed but there is no event. B, a firm with an event where return data is lacking. And C, a stream of missing data in the returns data surrounding the event date. With this in my hand, we are ready to run our first event study using raw returns. Okay, run it. ES is the data of the result, and then supposed to keep all the things there. This runs an event study using event listed in stock split dates and using returns data for the firm in stock price returns. An event window of 5 days is analyzed. Event studies with returns data, yeah, event window 5, plus and minus 5, I guess. And then event studies with returns data typically do some kind of adjustments of the returns data in order to reduce variance, in order to keep things simple. In this first event study, we are doing no adjustments, which is done by setting types to none. While daily returns data has been supplied, the standard event study deals with cumulative returns. In order to achieve this, we set to remap to true, and we ask whether this remapping be done using cum sum, right? All right, cumulative sum. Finally, we come to inference strategy. We instruct event study to do inferences and ask for bootstrap inference. T-statistic is constructed using bootstrap. Let us peek and poke at the object ES that is returned. Okay, so run it. Here's a result that you see it. And then the graph nicely shows up. This is a way to impress your boss, okay? And then you see 95 percentile, the dashed lines up and down. That's, in between there is a x-axis where the y is 0. Okay, abnormal return is 0. And then blue solid line is an average cumulative return. Okay, so the stock split does not seem to give any significant stock price response. It does not affect your market value of equity. Okay, that's what's going on. And then over here, -5, day 5. It should be day 5, but why is it -4? I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 0, -1, -2, -3, -4. Oh yeah, and then -5 should be there, but somehow it's starting from oh yeah, from -4. Okay, so 5 days is like going up to this 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not symmetric over here. That's the one problem. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then starting from here, there's 0, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is going on. Okay, so that's why it is not symmetric. Whereas it starts from -4, it goes until +5. You have 10 trading days. Okay. All right, so that's one thing. Okay, but anyway, the vector outcomes showed, and the object returned the event study of class ES. This is it is a list of 2 components. 3 of these are just a record of the way event study was run, the event inference procedure adopted, the bootstrap, yes, the window widths, and then the method used. Okay, essentially window width 5 means like 10 trading days, not necessarily symmetric between centered at 0. Okay, you saw that. Anyway, and the method used for mapping the data, cum sum, the 2 new things are outcomes and the results. And then the vector outcomes shows the disposition of each event in the events table, right? And then the success denotes a successful use of event when an event cannot be used properly. And then various error codes are supplied. For example, unit missing is reported when the event table shows an event for units of observations where returned data is not observed. Plot and print methods for the class ES are supplied. The standard plot is illustrated here. In this case, we see the 95th percentile confidence interval, 95% confidence interval is above 0 and below 0, and is in no case can the null of the no effect be rejected. Okay, in this first example, raw stock market return was utilized in the event study. It is important to emphasize that the event study is statistically valid tool even under these circumstances. I told you before, yeah, to the extent, as long as this is short-run event study, like a couple of days or 10 days like this, raw returns or market-adjusted returns or market model returns, CAPM returns or Pharma French abnormal returns, all those things will give you the same conclusion. The numbers will be slightly different, but the significance will be, similar. The result will be robust. Anyway, averaging across multiple events. Multiple events isolates the event-related fluctuations. However, there is a loss of statistical efficiency that comes from fluctuation of stock prices that can have nothing to do with firm-level news. In order to increase efficiency, we resort to the adjustments of the return data. So this is a second approach, market model, okay, which is close to CAPM, but the difference is that CAPM, you subtract risk-free return for both dependent variable and then explanatory variable. But here, market model, you don't subtract risk-free rate. Okay, let's just live in a easy life. Okay, that's the approach. Now, the standard methodology in the literature is to use a market model. This estimates a time series regression RJT, which is return of company J on day T, should be alpha of company J plus beta of J company times the return of the market on date T, and then plus some random error epsilon JT, right? Yeah, you estimate beta hat, and then market index captured market-wide fluctuations like Kospi 200 index or S&P 500 index would be it, which have nothing to do with the firm-specific factors. The event study is then conducted with the accumulated epsilon JT time series, right? Epsilon JT, is that statistically significantly different from zero is the issue. This yields improved the statistical efficiency as the variance of epsilon, the residual, will be smaller than the variance of the total return. This invoked a setting by type of market model in the function, in the package, right? So you do it like this. Here you see market model in type over here, right? That's it. In addition to setting the type to market model, we are now required to supply data for the market index RM of T. The above example, this is the data object Nifty index, which is correspondent to S&P 500 of the US or Kospi 200 of Korea. That's Indian index supplied from the other returns data object in the package. This is just a zoo vector with daily returns of the stock market index, a comparison of the range of the y-axis in the figure 1 versus that seen in figure 2 shows substantial improvement in statistical efficiency that was obtained by market model adjustments. Okay, now you plot it, you see slight difference over here. Okay, this is market model, that is raw return. Okay, this is market model, that is raw return. Some of you may wonder, hey, isn't this statistically significant? I would say marginally, yeah, maybe, but in the end, on day 0, it's insignificant, right? So I would say, nah, it's not significant. Oh, isn't that your subjective judgment? Yeah, there are a lot of subjective judgments in the first place in all the analysis in the whole world, right? Even though the most scientific analysis will have that kind of subjectivity. Jump up kind of experience matters to do that kind of judgment. Anyway, so further studies, you can check out the following URL and then do the event study yourself, right? So I hope this gives you some guidelines to how to do the analysis for your project, right? So I hope you like it, and then hope to see you next week. Any questions, please email me, and then talk to you later. And bye-bye.